Yo, what's up, everyone? Back for this Saturday early slate. We're going to look at the 7-game slate today, starting at 4 o'clock. Let's jump right into it. You can drop a like and subscribe down below. Looking like it's going to be a good night on Draftkings once again, and at least double ups. Right now, we scored a 117 on this slate. The picks were pretty good. Musgrove and Sale kind of flip-flopped their outings. I thought Musgrove would put up Sale numbers and Sale would put up Musgrove numbers. But Sale was underwhelming, but Musgrove made up for that with 30.75, and Musgrove was also pretty low owned. Crone went yard, Odor went yard, and Rosario had 18, so 3 out of the 4 hitters that I gave out in yesterday's video did great, and then Calhoun didn't do much, and then finished it out with the other pieces. So let's keep it going on this slate. Looks like that's going to cash. It's 11:40 Eastern time, unless something goes crazy in the night slates. Should cash and at least double ups on DraftKings, so it's a great week. You know where to go if you want to join us. Let's jump right into the slate. You can visit the website, dfsprocess.net. We got baseball, we got football coming up. Try to get over 100 likes on this video, and you're going to jump right into it. So this slate, it is kind of a weird slate just because we don't have that many pitchers that I love here. We have a ton of good hitting spots. Lots of teams stand out in terms of stacking. Castillo is the best pitcher by far on the slate, but he gets a tough matchup against the Brewers team. He's been really good this season, but the one time he wasn't good was against the Brewers. I don't know. It's tough picking on the Brewers in this ballpark. If you want to pay up for Castillo, I think it's fine, but I'll go down a little bit. I don't like Chirinos at 10-3. That price tag is too high for me. Paddock's making his first start in a couple of days, in like 10 days. He was sent down to high A. He also doesn't pitch that much, and before he got sent down was struggling, and the Pirates don't strike out that much, so it's tough to get behind him. Don't really have interest in Mike Fiers against a pretty good Rays team. I think you can make a case for him in GPPs, but 9,300 Mike Fiers in cash. Just shows you how the lack of pitching options we have on the slate. Don't really love Velasquez. I mean, how can you like Velasquez here? He hasn't even thrown more than 50 pitches since May 6th, so I don't see him going far in this game. Archer's probably going to be popular, but he hasn't been good at all this year. Gives up an insane amount of power, 17 bombs already given up in just 64 innings. He also walks a ton with 33 walks. I think Archer's going to be pretty popular on this slate. I don't mind looking at some of the power from the Padres because there is a great chance that Archer gives up at least a couple home runs. I mean, he's given up 1 home run in every start this year except for 2. So I like targeting against Archer a little bit here with some of the power on the Padres. Turnbull's fine, and then the other stacks that stick out. I mean, I like Tommy Milone a lot too, so I like Tommy Milone quite a bit. And then the stacks that stick out, I love the Blue Jay stack against Johnson here. Brian Johnson is terrible against righties, as I will show you. I like the Blue Jay stack. I love a Red Sox stack against Kingham, and I think a Padres stack makes sense. And that's pretty much it. So those are a couple teams I like to stack. Let's jump right into it. My first pitcher is going to be Tommy Milone. He's 7,900. It's pretty cheap considering the lack of pitching options we have. I mean, Mike Fiers is priced up to 93. He was priced up like almost $2,000 because of the lack of pitching options. But Malone's at a nice price tag, 7,900. He's been pitching really good this season. Gets the best matchup he's had, facing an Orioles team at home. He has decent strikeout stuff, averaging about a strikeout per inning. Has been giving up only 24 hits in 32 and 2/3 innings. Only 5 walks, so he's been pretty good at controlling his pitches. The Orioles are not a good offense, especially against lefties, except for a couple guys that stick out like Nunez. And Nunez sticks out in terms of power, and Alberto sticks out in terms of average. But I think he can manage. The Orioles also get a big ballpark downgrade going into Seattle here. I think Milone can put up at least like 20, and I'll be happy with that. And the second pitcher I'm going to go with is going to be Hernandez here from the Marlins. The Phillies' offense is just in such a rut right now. Luckily they scored a run yesterday. I mean, their offense has been trash. They're in a huge slump. They are 2-9 in their last 11 games, barely scoring runs, striking out a ton. And this guy has a ton of upside. In the minor leagues, he had a 1.13 ERA in the minor leagues with 69 strikeouts and 48 innings. And so far in his 2 starts, he's been great. The first time he pitched this year wasn't a start. He came in relief, and the first two outings, he's thrown 96 and 101 pitches. Good strikeout stuff, only giving up 1 bomb so far. And with the way the Phillies have been playing, I think he's in for a great game today. And he pitched well against the Cardinals. both times. I think he can have a similar outing against the Phillies here at a very cheap price tag. So those are the pitchers that I like. And like I said, I'm going to be stacking up some of the higher priced bats today, going cheap at pitcher. Second base, I like Gurriel Jr. here at 5,300. I don't think anybody's going to really play him here at this price tag just because they see a price tag like this. But I love the spot here against Brian Johnson. I love the Blue Jay stack. They've been hitting the ball pretty well, as you saw yesterday, where they knocked around Chris Sale a little bit. They've been hitting the ball pretty well this month, especially against lefties. There are some really good hitters in this lineup, and Gurriel is one of them. He's been mashing lefties this season. He's hitting .298 against lefties this year, 5 home runs in just 47 at-bats. That gives him a .383 ISO this year against lefties with a .681 slugging percentage. Just been hitting the ball really, really well. In the month of June, he's batting .297. So he started off this season in an absolute rut. Just had 7 hits in his first 44 at-bats. He got sent down to AAA, and then ever since he's been back from AAA, he's been on fire. He hit .393 in 7 games in May, and in June he's been really good with the power. 5 home runs in just 64 at-bats, hitting .297. As you see, he's been great against lefties, and career-wise, he's been much better against lefties. .305 career average against lefties, and Brian Johnson is an absolutely terrible pitcher. The Jays have an awesome ballpark to hit in here in Fenway, which is a really good hitter's ballpark. And Johnson has been destroyed against righties. .481 average this season in 33 at-bats, .889 slugging percentage. Just not a good pitcher at all. Only a 15% K rate. Last season as well, he was pretty bad against righties. .279, .466. The xFIP was almost at 5. Only an 18% K rate. And he gives up quite a bit of fly balls too. So I think going with some of the Blue Jays hitters makes sense here, especially a guy that you're going to get at low ownership here in Gurriel. At shortstop, I like Tatis today. I want to target some of the powerful bats from the Padres against Archer. And no better player to target than Tatis, given his power, given his speed, given the fact that he bats leadoff, given the fact that nobody's going to really play him, I don't think. Makes really good play for GPPs. I think he makes for a cash gameplay too, just because you can get some leverage on the field. But he's been the best prospect in baseball this season by far. I mean, everybody's hyped up Vladimir Guerrero, but he hasn't really done much this year compared to what Tatis is doing. Nobody's really talks about Tatis. None of the media does, but he's been much better than Guerrero. And this year he's been really good against righties. 7 of his 8 home runs have come against righties. .331 average. On the road, he's hit the ball a lot better. .361 average outside of Petco. He has power. He has speed. He has a .271 average against right-handed pitching. .602 slugging percentage. And like I said, Archer gives up just so much power that makes really good sense to target some of the Padres. It's not like Joe Musgrove. Musgrove, I was really high on him just because he had such good numbers against righties, and the Padres are righty-heavy. But Archer doesn't have like massive splits. He's been pretty much the same to both sides of the plate for his career. And this year, righties have a .285 average against him. Slugging is almost .500. They're pretty similar numbers. It's not like, and even has a lower strikeout rate against righties. It's not like Musgrove the other day who had massive splits. So I like Tatis here at 5,700. In the outfield, I'm going to go with Teoscar Hernandez. He's been mashing the ball since he's come back from AAA. He was just like Gurriel. He was in a huge funk to start the season, but he's come back and been hitting the ball really well this month. Tremendous numbers against left-handed pitching. I'd rather take a chance on him given how good he's been hitting than take a chance on a guy like Grichuk, who's been struggling this month. I'll show you the numbers for Teoscar. They are really good against left-handed pitching. And I just showed you the numbers for Johnson. He's been destroyed against right-handed bats, and Teoscar Hernandez just has so much power. This year he has a .245 average against lefties, 3 home runs in just 53 at-bats. That gives him a .264 ISO, .509 slugging percentage. Strikeouts are way down against lefties, about 10% lower. And this month, he's been really good. 4 home runs in just 12 games this month. He's batting .261 so far in the month of June. He's only $4,100. I like him quite a bit. And last but not least, speaking of power, you can't get much more of a power bat than Franmil Reyes here. So much power here in this outfield with Teoscar, Reyes, even Tatis, and even Gurriel's been flashing power. He has 9 home runs in just 132 at-bats. So lots of power here in these plays. Franmil Reyes is just too cheap at just $4,000. He has missed a couple games lately due to like neck stiffness or something. But he's back, and he's been back the last couple days and been hitting the ball pretty well. Just so much power against right-handed pitching. It's tough not to like him here at just $4,000, way underpriced. He has 18 of his 20 home runs have come against righties. He has a 309 ISO, 559 slugging percentage. Everything off of his bat gets hit hard. He has a 50.8% hard hit rate against right-handed pitching and a 37% fly ball rate. Love the spot here for Franmil Reyes facing a guy in Chris Archer who throws fast and throws pretty hard, but most of the time he doesn't know where it's going. Ends up in the middle of the plate. A guy like Reyes can crush it. So those are the plays I like. Leaves you with over $4,000 still. And I want to talk about a sneakier team to target here. I think would be the Reds. Like I said, I like the Red Sox a lot. They're an obvious stack. For GPPs, I think the Red stack makes sense here, facing Chacin. The Reds have been swinging a very hot bat. I love the lefties in particular, like Jesse Winker batting leadoff. You got like Derek Dietrich's been really swinging the bat well this year in terms of power. Even a guy like Joey Votto, I don't mind. But Chacin this season has been, the advanced numbers are terrible against lefties. And the Reds, the way they've been swinging the bat, I think they make for a nice GPP stack. So Chacin this year, his advanced numbers, if you look at it, he only has a 10.9% K rate to lefties. That is really bad. Obviously, a 6.51 xFIP, even worse. And he has a 49.4% hard hit rate against lefties, only a 12.4% soft contact rate. So I like the Reds here, especially the lefties. So like Winker's only 4,400. I like him. I like Dietrich, Votto. Those are my top 3 plays. And even a guy like Puig, who's been swinging a hot bat, I don't mind him either. But that should do it for the video. Those are the picks I like. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.